My name is Mauricio Quiroga, and I am the Chile CEO for Centro Sur Internet. I'm very happy to be here with you. I have the same experience as you have right now. About 11 years ago, I studied at Berkeley and worked then at Silicon Valley. So I'm very happy to be here, and I hope this presentation can give you a new knowledge and new ideas. And I will be more than happy to answer all your questions, your doubts. And if you want, we can be in contact later. I will give you my contact data, so don't hesitate to contact me if you want more information. So I wanted to talk about our global ambition in e-commerce. But to know more about our company, I will make a brief explanation about our company. And the agenda of this presentation, well, our company background, Centro Sur, our division, which is our central strategy, our ambition, which are the main challenges that we think we are facing, and what we think right now. You see that Professor Musalem explained that we have to work with the teams as the other teams will do with IBM and DuPont and make an agreement. But we have a first proposal of how we think we should work with the team. And then, of course, questions and answers for everybody. Okay? Well, company background. I wanted to show you this graph because it shows. Oh, sorry. It shows our founder, Mr. Horst Paulman. I was reading the last Sunday an article when he was in Germany, when he was 10 years old. Middle-class family in Germany, the country was destroyed. So he was saying that he went to the school without shoes in the snow, that he stopped at the Navy's United States Army headquarters to check in the garbage if there was some food. So his family discovered that the country was destroyed. They have some relatives at Chile, and they decide to immigrate to Chile. And they read, and he said, and the interviewer asked him, why you didn't went to the university if you build an empire from nothing? Because we were 7 brothers, and the 3 older brothers had to work to give food and education to the other brothers. Well, finally he started in a restaurant in La Unión, south of Chile, and then a supermarket, and we think in Centro Sur he introduced a marketing innovation in our country, a huge marketing innovation. And for you as Americans, maybe people from other countries, you see that what I'm going to say as something normal. But in Chile it's not normal, and that's customer service, customer experience. If you went to Chile and you go to a restaurant, you will not have the best service. We were not good in that area. And he brought to our country that huge innovation, to treat well the clients, to have the best experience. Well, he started with his restaurant, and at the end, right now, he has a company that, for the size of our small country, is $14 billion, and that's almost 7% of the Chilean GDP. And another very successful entrepreneur, an American entrepreneur who changed the retail industry, has 2.8. I wanted to show you how important is this entrepreneur for us in our country. Well, that's Costanera Center. That will be the largest, small, and highest building in Latin America, 300 meters, and will be done in April 2030, the day of my birthday. That's the birthday that Mr. Paulan is giving to me. Well, a brief summary of our company. We are operating in 5 countries. We have 753 stores, 25 shopping centers. Our business model is different from the retailers in the United States and Europe. We actually own the real estate, so we have a huge amount of investment in real estate. We have 122,000 employees and 2.8 million square meters of sales surface. That's our main chain, supermarket. We already are number 1 Peru with 47% share. In Chile we are number 2 with 70%. Walmart has 34%. But since Walmart acquired our competitor leader, which have shortened, and we expect next year to catch Walmart in our market and became number one. In Argentina, we also are number one with 255 stores, and we entered Brazil very aggressively. We have 20, well, Brazil is like the United States, or like big countries that are, I think, like several countries inside a more bigger country. So we entered the Northeast region, we have the second place, and Minas Gerais, we have number first, we are number one in market share. We have also Easy, is our home improvement. We have 82 stores. In Argentina, we are number one with 49 stores. In Chile, number two. And we just entered Colombia a few years ago. As I told you, well, in shopping centers, we have 25 shopping centers around South America. And the interesting thing we have about this our shopping center, we have high rates of occupancy. We are number two in Chile, but we are going to add to the market 1 million square meters with the new project that I showed you in the first slides, and we are going to be number one also in Chile. We have also our own credit card. That's a model that was invented in Chile in terms that these cards are not from a bank, but actually are the retailer that puts money and give a loan directly to the client. This new business model that mixes retail and credit allowed a large proportions of the South American population, especially those of low income, to enter to the credit market. And we also have linked our credit card program with Nectar. That's a franchise that we give. We brought from England, and it's our fidelity program. We have 4 million cards. By far, the country that has the largest penetration is Chile. And the second one is Brazil, and Argentina is similar. And Peru is starting in this new service that we are providing. In terms of department stores, we only have a presence in Chile. We have 26% of the market, but we have bought a small competitor that called Johnson. We are going to clean out with 31%. And we have a great competitor, Falabella. If you check more information about retail in Latin America, that's a great competitor. Well, let's talk very briefly about Cencosud history. And I wanted to show you this graph. It's very interesting. In the year 2001, we sold $1.5 billion. And in 9 years, we grew to $12 billion. And these years, we are expecting to sell $15 billion. So the growth is amazing. As I told you, here we have the first supermarket in Santiago, then the second supermarket. Then when the crisis exploded in Argentina, our entrepreneurs, Horst Baumann, tell everybody, I'm not scared. I survived the Second World War, and he moved to Argentina. And Home Depot was in Argentina in those years. They wanted to sell their assets in Argentina. They said, okay, I buy them right away, and start to buy to everybody who was scared and escaping from Argentina. That's an interesting thing about Latin America. You have to think in Argentina as a country that is the only country in the world that was developed and turned underdeveloped. When in the beginning of the past century, Argentina was the 7th richest country in the world. So it's very strange. You have to think in Argentina differently. And our entrepreneur think differently. He bought a lot of stores. He bought operation for an European company, and he started to grow. And we made the IPO here that allowed us, our company, to have more cash to buy companies, always with zero debt, always operating only with capital. And our entrepreneur studied that having debt is a good thing, it's a good idea, and he allowed the company to have more debt, to make acquisitions, and we entered aggressively in Brazil. Right now we are making a new bond in the Chilean market, since we have pension funds, private pension funds. We have more than our GDP in terms of savings, so we have very cheap financing. We don't need to go out overseas to make our investments, and the growth of the company has been 100% financed with Chilean sources, the pension funds and the local financial market. So, in terms of what we have, the markets that are most developed are Chile and Argentina. Sales are 14 billion, selling area, stores and customers registered in the slide that you have printed that were 50 million, but actual clients that we are already acquiring in Brazil to our new alliance, we have 100 million clients. Another interesting thing is that we operate in very attractive markets. As you see, the growth of in Chile and Argentina, and I put the United States so you can have made a comparison. What's going on is that we have, in all of these countries, huge amounts of savings. These countries have excessive savings. So what has to happen, in our point of view, to the economy return to stability? These countries need to increase aggressively their consumption and not saving anymore. And the countries that have larger debt need to decrease their consumption to have super habits to pay for these countries that have give loans to these countries. So what will happen is a great opportunity for retail in terms of consumption in one way, and in another way, in terms of these currencies, countries will be very, very strong. We have seen in the last few months the pressures among the currencies of the countries that have, as you can see in Chile, only 10% of the government GDP debt. So countries with, well, and that those includes the savings that are $100 billion. And that will create a huge pressure for the currency to get stronger. And those who know economy, that means that the real estate value of our investment will go up. So the only country that is not investment grade right now is Argentina. That's everybody's telling, well, Greece will be something like Argentina. Huh? Well, in terms of our participation, Chile is by far is by far the largest presence that we have, followed by Argentina. Both Brazil is growing very fast, and all of our attention is going to Brazil. In terms of our business units, supermarkets, the source of our view is the most important. Internet is only 3% right now. We are going to talk more about it in a few slides. Department stores, financial services, differently from all other Latin American business model, we are always think that we are not a financial house. We provide credits, not at a huge interest rates. We provide credits so the client has the best buying experience. So our rates, interest rates, are half of our competitors, and we don't penetrate aggressively those markets. We are a retail company. Huh?
But it's a quick question.
Yes.
If you did the same chart in terms of profits, will it look very different, or will it look similar?
Oh yeah. Well, it will look. Profits are mostly 50% in Chile, because other markets has, for instance, Brazil. They are not ready. We make the recent acquisitions, so the companies have not yet get our operative culture, and we expect them to get the same efficiency that we have.
But I mean, in terms of the supermarkets, internet shopping centers,
would
that change a lot?
Okay,
or
okay.
would that be similar?
In the terms of in supermarket, home improvement, and department stores, you will have an over-representation in terms of 80% in supermarkets, home improvements 8%, and department stores will be 7%.